Okay, so Stephen A. Smith, the sports commentator, he he's been called pompous over this in particular thing. He says that people are telling him, everybody's been telling him, billionaires and millionaires have been telling him, you need to run for president. You're a no nonsense kind of guy. You can cut to the chase, blah, blah, blah. You need to run for president. Now, mind you, Stephen A. Smith, again, is, I don't want to insult the man because it's not really necessary, but to cut through the BS, he is very full of himself. Confident, if you want to use the nice word. He said that he was told to run for president. So should he? Let's look and see. Should he run for president? The first is the Two of Pentacles. Now, mind you, he just said he got this great deal with ESPN and he's very happy where he is. So he's more than likely just talking. Because that's what people do. The Rock did it. Dwayne Johnson, the actor / wrestler, people say I should run for president. Will Smith. Like, this is one of them things. People put the feelers out there to see what's going on. Donald Trump did that too. I should run for president. And then he eventually did. And then he lost the primary. He didn't get past the other Republicans. And then he ran again. And then boom, he did. And so this here was the Two of Pentacles, which means you need to balance what's going on in your life right now. And he just got this big deal, so he's more likely, again, just talking. The Magician. The Magician is skill, power, and talent. Stay where you are. Stay in your wheelhouse. Stay in your strengths. Again, the Two of Pentacles is saying don't try to balance too many things at the same time, because then they all fall. Because what happens if you go run for president and you give up your gig with ESPN? Can you get it back? So stay in your wheelhouse. Stay where you are. This is for you. Where you are is for you. The Ten of Pentacles, stay where the money is, not where the opportunity can be. You are in a place right now where you have longevity and legacy. So do not mess that up. Again, I think he's just talking, posturing, if you will. Page of Pentacles, that's your new contract. He ain't going nowhere. So no, you should not run for president just because some millionaires told you to do so. But let's look at the runes and see what they say too. What does your runes have to say? I'll pull one. Because again, I think this is just talk. Ingwas. Ingwas is normally like a fruitful thing. This is your harvest and your fertilization, your land, your farming, your all that kind of stuff. Waiting for something to grow. It's in reverse. This is a horrible idea. This has no growth potential to it whatsoever. So, no. But let's take a look now, though. Will the Democrats have a solid, strong candidate for the next presidential election? Which, unfortunately, in this country starts 3 years early now. So instead of just 1 and 2, but now we're doing it way out. So, of course, they already talked about Cory Booker should be. Cory Booker gave one speech. Calm down. Okay, so there is, it was a very long speech and broke the record of a racist, so good on you. But at the same time, let's not throw our hats in the air. Remember when people thought Michael Avenatti should be president just because he didn't like Trump? So, no. So, will the Democrats put forth a strong and solid candidate for the next presidential election? Not one that is divisive in some circles and so forth and so forth. Mind you, Kamala Harris was not everybody's favorite. She's the vice president, but the campaign finance says that all the money that Joe Biden raised had to be given to her. Otherwise, you'd have to start over. And she ran a awesome campaign. And let's face it, she won. But she ran an awesome campaign. So things can turn around, especially in the face of Donald Trump. But things can turn around for whoever it is. So what was this here? The Ace of Wands. That's a yes. They will. So let's look and see. Will they put forth a strong, viable candidate that the Democrats will get behind for the next presidential election? The Wheel of Fortune. That's a good sign. This is a good sign because this person has time to point out the obvious. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of lessons. This is going to be one of these things that whoever this person is can run down the gambit of what a Republican administration looks like, what it has done, how much it has cost. Mind you, Joe Biden just had to run on what Donald Trump did and said, not even what he was going to do. And he would have got 1 billion people right off the bat, right? Donald Trump and COVID, his COVID response was horrid. Millions of people died, all that stuff. All they needed to do was bring that to the table and say, here's what your Republican administration got you. Vote for me instead. This person is now in the situation, time repeats itself too with the Wheel of Fortune, where they can do the exact same thing. Look at the chaos that he has caused. Do you really want that again? The Wheel of Fortune is the card of lessons, lessons that need to be learned. The Judgment card, these are both the karma cards as well. What is happening was supposed to happen. I know it's horrible to hear and horrible to even say, but it is. This is the way the script has been written. None of this is an accident. All of this is written somewhere up there in the heavens. If whoever figured it out, great. It's all written. All this is supposed to happen. These are the 2 karma cards. They're also the card of lessons and judgments. Here's what you learn. Here's what you do. And they are cards of repeating cycles. So we are coming to a point where that cycle will be repeated, to where Joe Biden had to just bring Donald Trump to the table and say, look at this. That next person, that's all they got to do. Look at the alliances that he has ruined. Look at the useless trade war. Look at the Doge effect. 4 of Cups, Justice, and the Tower. This person may not be everybody's favorite, I will say. However, in the 2-party system, you have very little choice. The Tower is basically exposing the obvious. The 4 of Cups is having to take what's part of your reality. You may not want it, you may not like it, but it's yours. However, the 4 of Cups is also a blessing within that reality. You just have to look at it that way. And the Justice and the King of Cups. Yes, this person, however, is right for the job. Justice being fairness, balance, truth, honesty. A person who may not be perfect, but they bring to you who they are. Just like the justice system. The King of Cups would be the leader, the motivator. They're really great at speeches. And that's what people sometimes vote for. But again, that Tower and that 4 of Cups may not be everybody's favorite, but this is the person for the job. And I think the cycle repeats. Oh boy. Well, I had another election question. What was it? Stephen Goofy Boy Smith. Will the Dems have a strong candidate? Got it. Let's look at the dims in youth. I'm going to go with the runes on this first. The dims and the youth. I'll pull 3. First up, Manaz. Manaz is the government, mankind, the built systems by man, family, anything that has to do with humanity. So there'd be your youth. So Willow, that's sun, success, brightness, happiness, good news. And then one more. Okay, we got them all upright. Ehwas is the yew tree. That means it's poisonous. It has to be observed, but not, you can't tamper with it too much. So in this sense, there is what you use to woo the youth vote. Again, there's your youth, there's your success, and here is your arm's length. You have to meet them where they are and take them for what they say and what it is. This is no more are we, I think, in the realm of you get votes just because they're not Republicans. You can't just automatically assume all the black people are going to vote for you because all the black people tend to be liberals or Democrats, not necessarily liberals. And all the youth are going to vote for you because they're all liberals. You can't just assume that anymore. This is a card that is telling you we need to figure out a way to approach without being in danger of alienating. So what I suggest would be with the sun too, the Sawillo, figure out what the issues are and address those, bearing in mind the youth has been sold this bill of goods before, which is why this card, again, is the yew tree. Yew trees are poisonous. So this is where the yew wood is. It's not something that is automatically going to sustain you just because it's always been there. It's different now. There's a different reality, a different world, and a lot of voters understand that my vote to you is not guaranteed, and so therefore you need to say something to me that makes sense for my life. And so figure out what it is and then go for it. Figure out how to approach and then make use out of it. But we shall see.